As far as we go. Hey guys, how's everybody tonight? Stanley Cup playoffs started tonight. Already Edmonton's losing. God damn it. It's 1-0 right now. I just turned off the first so I wouldn't get distracted. But hey guys, sorry about this morning, but had to go look at some real estate today. That's why today's episode is all about real estate and landowners and things like that, right? So it says I have 0 people here. So did y'all just suddenly leave? Because I see you all in the chat, but I'm going to tune into my own thing here so I can track it. Don't think I'll be on too long tonight, but who knows how these things go. Who do I see in the chat tonight? I see Sun's Crayon Slayer. What's up, man? Con Huesos. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know, man. But you're going to have to spell it out phonetically in the chat. Good luck with that and making me still understand it. But I hope that's Con Huesos, if not Con Huesos. Who else we got? Loki Warteeth, of course. What's up, brother? See you soon, man. See you soon. Been having a fun time trying a picture. Oh my God, who's gonna fill my suitcase first, Aaron, Loki, or Joe Fastspot? I'm meeting all you guys, and oh man, I've got a lot of figs on the come up after Joe Fest. I know that. I've already locked down a couple of people, and I am going to Joe Fest with an agenda, right? So busy guy lately. Hey, I say it wrong, no problems. Okay, yeah, man. I'll keep trying, buddy. I'll keep trying. I am not Latino. Clearly, I'm a Canadian through and through from up north. You know, born in Alberta, became a man in Alberta, but born in Ontario. But here I am back in Ontario again, and I just, yeah, you know, real estate. Ain't it fun? Any homeowners out there? Hey, you guys own your own home? Anybody renter? If you don't mind me asking, just putting a poll out there. I'm a renter right now, but I've been a homeowner before, and I'm being a homeowner again. So I was just curious if anyone's in there. Yeah, I'll call you. Call me Rick. Call me Bones. All right, Bones. And there we go. Right on. So yeah, it's no small thing. I've bought before with the misses and everything like that, but now I'm buying again, and you know, it's just one of those things where you're just you're trying to keep it on the down low a little bit, but 2 homes, you know, holy crap, man. Yeah, and that is something right there. I've been doing because I was raised that way. I grew up that way, man. Renting all the time. Me and my mom, when we couldn't live with my grandma and grandpa, we would live in apartments and places across the city while she went through nursing school. So always renting, right? So I was really proud of her when she finally saved up enough for her own house, right? And you know, being a military family, me and the missus both military, we were able to. Well, I should say she. I let her handle the finances, and she took care of it really well. So at least I'm able to afford houses and things like that. And yeah, the trade-off, right? So renting, you know, you got that landlord top cover, everything like that. Something goes wrong in your house, it's not really your problem, is it? As long as it's big enough that it would inconvenience you to fix it, you take it to your landlord. At least that's the way it's supposed to go, but it doesn't really go. You hear about all those horror stories, right? But I have lived through this one many, 2 times, too many, one times. It was traumatizing and it damaged my brain to the point where I can't talk. I had my hot water tank go right during Christmas season, and then as soon as I got that fixed, guess what went next? Yeah, furnace, right? So I've learned to do my inspections very thoroughly, and I don't know if my real estate agent really knew what they were getting into with me today, or the last few days. But yeah, we think we found a house, and I was pleased with it. So the offers, and we'll see where it goes. But I don't dick around. That's the army in me, right? I keep my mouth shut when I want something until I see it. Usually, toys aside, but something serious like that, cars, that, you know, objectives, missions. I say nothing until it's time to go. That. And then I don't usually like the bartering game, so I do my math and I make them an offer they can't refuse. And in this case, I had to look at what the market is right now. The market in Ottawa is not great for guys like me, but good for the people like the seller. So you have to react to that. But enough about that. Yeah, I've had one of those before. When I was 14, my mother and I rented the top half of a bungalow where the landlord, he lived in the basement suite that he made for himself down there, and then proceeded to not like me and my friends at all, to the point where he started lying to my mom about things that I was up to, like that was like having like parties and things that I wasn't having. Anyways, he just created a ruckus and we eventually left. But yeah, when your landlord's a dick, what do you do if he's the best game in town for what you can afford, right? Yeah, I feel for anyone who is bound with a bad landlord right now, because the market is what it is right now, and you know, the world's kind of stacked that way. Upgrading in property is a game. You have to have money to make money, right? And it's not that easy as it is to say it. So renting for us was because the Army had posted us to two separate cities. So my wife and son went to Ottawa and I went back to Kingston. And yeah, look, yeah, I read the comment. I'm just not going to put it up in case anything happens. I'll just, there's the response to your comment. Damn, man. But yeah, that's great. Sorry, I'm pressing the wrong screen. I'm looking at two screens here. Pardon me, old man moment. But it's been a stressful time. Anyways, I'm eager to see it to come to an end, right? So the place I looked at and everything like that. Yeah, it'll be nice to do all the nice new studio and workshop for you guys to see for sure. And I made a joke with Aaron, the toy enhancer, and he was, I think he was saying he's not against at all taking a trip up north here to the Great White North to come see me in Ottawa in my place, and maybe bounce some ideas on that workshop and display room. I don't know. The studio shit it's fun, right? It's so much fun. Oh, there's 4 within the first 7 minutes. All right, well, whatever. I gotta get through 10 more before I can really chill. So yeah, talking about the real estate, guys, I got to tie it into Joe. Well, I'm going to show you some Joe real estate that will be the passion project when we get there. But I got the layout of it, and I'll be working on every small detail of it. But you guys want to see some figs? I got some figs to show you. I'll do videos on the presentations of them another time. But you show up live. I'm not a membership channel. I'm a free subscription. And I throw away stuff that other people keep for their membership. So you guys will get the early reveal of some things tonight that I am calling more or less, but pretty much I think a couple of them are definitely done. They just need my final spray, which is the final spray I'm going to be trying out is my Vallejo acrylic matte. So that'll involve me going back through my line of conversions that I've been doing since probably Christmas, just before Christmas, doing the touch-ups on everything from Bull, my very first one, to these ones now, and then doing the spray. I actually got a couple more cans of these on order with the place where I got it, so I can get that done. But I'm playing around. I know matte and satin are think are the two that I want, but matte is the one I really want. In my end state shelf, you will find no gloss. So yeah, I'll finally get those done because I want to have wetsuit all done for Aaron, so I can hand that to him and it won't get scratched up and everything like that. Yeah, man, graffiti artist. Yeah, so Central Kingston. Yeah, no, it's funny. The spray now testers dull coat. Yeah, okay. So, whoa. Hey, you guys okay? Clearly, I'm doing this off my iPhone today. I've got things set up and on the go. So I'll show you some real estate in a bit when I'm ready to show you some characters. But I'll show you some. One problem I'm having right now, guys, is I'm going into Joe Fest. I do plan on buying 99% Joe's while I'm there, and Joe related paraphernalia. I want to find things like sticker sheets and whatnot for decals so I can do more vehicle conversions. Yeah, sorry, con ASOS. Yeah. Con HUCOS. See, I keep trying. Oh, look at this. I'm not even wearing my crow hat right now. No wonder you guys don't know how to talk, right? There we go. There you go, boys. While I still have this hair, hint, hint, it's there. So I'm going to Joe Fest, and there are other 6-inch lines that I'm interested in possibly picking up a fig or two of. Yes, okay, Mythic Legions. I hear all of you. Mythic Legions, I get it, but I think I might just do Cosmic Legions just to piss somebody off. I don't know. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy about checks and balances and rationalization. Ask Loki. I feel everything's got to have a justifiable price, even sentiment and time, memory, all of it. You know, that has value. What is it? What is that value to me when I go to buy a figure? Right, so I just don't know. Once I get the Mythic Legions in my hand and have a look at them, Cosmic Legions as well, the sentiment everybody passes on is I'm going to fall in love and probably dump my wallet out and buy a bunch of them. That's what everybody says. I just don't feel like that's probably me, but oh, nice, that's awesome. So yeah, bro, you're such a sugar daddy for Joe and Joe Conversion, guys. We love you. We love you, daddy. We love you, daddy. Here's your money, daddy. The articulation is booty. Yeah, I don't know. I've looked at a couple of figures online of them. I went on a little bit of a rabbit hole to cheer myself up lately and was like, okay, what am I? Because I know exactly what my budget is. I'm not going to share that here, but I should be able to squeeze a few things into that and then a bunch of figs. And so I was talking to Loki and I said, listen, boy, I'm going to be looking for some figs when I go down to Joe Fest. You'd probably like to have some more cash to spend at Joe Fest. Yep. Here, Loki, here's a list of names. And gave him the names of the figs I wanted that I was looking for, more or less, within reason. Well, he had a couple of them, so I'm probably going to meet him in the parking lot. Just, oh, what's up, Holmes? Yeah, what's up? Yo, boom. Yeah, you got the figs. Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right, fuck yeah. Right? Probably going to be doing that. But Valaverse. The more I see of Valaverse, the more confused I get. Initial first glances, it has a few really good figs. Really good looking figs. Loki's got one of them, Trigger. I think that's a great thing. I'm happy to buy Trigger off. But once you get into the female assortment, it seems like guys just didn't want to do face sculpts, man. You know, like very few males, lots of females, and then everybody's got a hood, motherfucker. So let's see. Hopefully, French Monkey Fiction will be there because they got that 6-inch. Oh, Baron Iron Blood. Yeah, the Baron Iron Blood line. So sorry, it's easier if I read the chat. So Baron Iron Blood. I know you guys want your Crimson Cobra Hooded Commander. I'm just telling you, it's flat out. I've never kept it a secret, guys. Nick Fury from Secret Invasion, Marvel Legends, popped up motherfucking head off. Loki Wartooth, Cobra 3D print head. You don't even have to do any boring because it's hollow. Black paint, red dry brush, slappity slap, clappity clap. Should cost you less than $12. Or definitely wait for Iron Blood and get the soldiers that go with it. But I'm just saying it's way simpler than maybe I've ever really said. But I've never really kept it a secret what it was. It's that simple, right? Okay, so yeah, 50 blood. Yeah, guys, that's the same ones I'm not doing a show about the which figs am I looking for exactly. Like you've seen enough of my show, and some of you are new. Understand, I've got a lot of the collection, but I'm after some of the iconic ones that everybody's after, right? Blood would be one. I'm after Blood. I'm after a Vamp. I'm after whatever. Can I get in on that HasLab? Yeah, okay. Can I get in on that Robin? Yeah, let's do 2 of those. But the rest of it, Mindbender, Chuckles, And then I don't think I hit many of the Walmart exclusives. So, stuff like that. But really, I'm going to play it by ear because I don't know what new line I really want to collect. That's where this was going. I am exclusively a Joe content here, right? But that doesn't mean I don't want to enjoy other toys and occasionally do a review on the others. One of these ones from Apex really impressed me. This is Wraith from Apex, and I think she's a very interesting figure. And I bought her because she was on clearance. It was a dirt cheap price. She had very simple to see kit in her plastic container. And unfortunately, other figures from her line didn't impress me at all. But this one did, and I even like the scarf and things like that. So I was thinking, okay, well, am I going to do a conversion or rip her apart, or can she just sit idly by with my 6-inch Joe collection and just be a part of the shelf cannon? Yeah, okay, I'll do the latter, right? So that's what it is. She's got that back peg for even Apex used trigger mech gun mounts, right? So I like that figure. I thought it was cool, but it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, the odds figures. And I was looking at conversions by It's Chad. Big shout out to It's Chad, who I was talking to offline because he had just talked about some stuff on one of his members' chat videos. And I wanted to tell him, hey, I have an opinion. I have a thought on this because he asked a question. So I went and sent him a message with my thoughts on it, about whether it should be a members only content or easily viewed. And I realized I hadn't watched a lot of his chat. He does a lot of conversions for O-Ring. I do things for classified, and so does Aaron. Got me thinking, do I want to collect O-Ring? I don't think I want to collect G.I. Joe as an O-Ring, but I think the scale might be something I'd look at, right? So Wraith Mace is talking you into looking around 40K. Yes, so one of the characters I am going to show you tonight is a 40K character. So there you go. I'm glad you brought that up. But yes, Joy Toy makes amazing 40K stuff, and McFarlane makes improved from his previous attempts 40K stuff. And they're all great to look at, right? I just feel like the Joy Toy, because of its smaller scale and higher detail, the thing looks way just more quality. But it's a 4-inch, not a 6-inch in that scale, right? So it won't sit well. But Thunderwolf Cavalry, oh my god. Demons, yes. Oh my god. Can't wait till they handle Nurgle and zombies on the Joy Toy line, or my favorite, Gaunt's Ghosts. And Gaunt's Ghosts is the book that Dan Abnett, if you recognize him from comics at all, he's a writer for many great science fiction comics like War of Lords or whatever it is, the Inhuman series. He does a lot of the Space Marvel stuff, a lot of DC. But he also writes a really good sci-fi epic called Gaunt's Ghosts, which is basically reconnaissance soldiers. In the 40K universe. And they act just like infantry. And they're very much inspired by the show Sharps Rifles. If you guys know Sean Bean in the BBC series, the Sharps Rifles, take place during the Spanish Revolution and stuff like that. Clearly, Abnett, this was his love letter to that. So let's say hi some more to the chat. Who else do I got out here that just joined us? Sean Jones, welcome, guys. And there you are. And that was something I was going to say about the Valis stuff. Is the Valis stuff I got out of box from a toy photographer who just bought them for that, but he didn't think to keep the boxes. It wasn't really his thing, and he was new to it also. He really didn't think about the collectors that would want to buy them in the resale. So when I got my Roadblock with the Gatling gun, I also got some Vala. And you'll see one of the Val over there because it's got a Scarlet head on it right now, because Lord knows I've got enough Scarlets now. But yeah, I didn't get the comics. And so I had to go online and kind of learn more about it. And I've been purposely staying away from any more Bobby Vala interviews because things he says can be taken a couple of different ways. And I just, I don't want to have a personal grudge against the guy who makes a semi-decent figure. I already like that with McFarlane. So let's have a look at what's going on here. Yeah, right on. So yeah, I remember you mentioned that I lucked out with those ones, and therefore it's good go. That's
fine. I think all of them, it just depends on where you are regionally. Like, I found them, different sites in Canada that can get them at varying prices, but other ones are extremely expensive. But if I go to US sites, they're not. Those ones are actually cheaper. And it's a weird thing that they've got on the go. And it's because of how difficult I think Valaverse figures are to get, really, through ordering systems. Like, whoever you're ordering through has to order them in for you, kind of stuff. And I don't want to get into the weeds on that, quite honestly. There's a few different lines I'm looking at, so I don't know if I'm ready to commit to any lines yet as far as collecting them. I think I'm going to sample a few at Joe Fest, a few different products, see what some other creative people are bringing to their tables. I keep thinking about all things classified, right? But you got to realize there's going to be equal amount of O-rings. There's going to be guys with new things. Aaron found his headquarters 3D prints through his friend. And I'm sorry, I can't draw in a blank because I'm live. But Neil, is it Neil? Neil. In the chat, I think it was Neil. Anyways, they met at Joe Fest, and I mean, like, what if I made it somebody there's got a really amazing 3D print besides the ramen one, and I might want that. Yeah. Smaller quantity. Yes, also Valaverse has smaller quantity, and yeah, exactly. And so yeah, when I also want to scale down, it's because you guys know me. I got mischief hands. I got things I gotta do. I gotta fondle and take apart things that probably shouldn't have been taken apart. They were nice when I got them, and they're not when they leave me. But oh well. So when I think about conversions, do I just need another reason to do more 6-inch conversions? Not really. That's why my end state stuff really is. It's a reason to do 6-inch conversions. Yes, it is. Maybe I want a reason to do smaller ones. There's lots of great stuff to F around with there. Thanks again to Chad. I noticed that, and I apologize to Chad for not having watched those videos before. I kind of rolled with the chat on a Knits chat, and I just kind of picked up from there, and I didn't go through the back catalog a whole lot. I was kind of just checking out a lot of guys. Chad, Punk, Ken, Ninja, all of these guys at the same time. Subscribe, learn. Right, and I wasn't so much going through back catalog, it's just trying to stay current. Thank you, Loki. Neil, it was. Okay, good. So yeah, so I think I want to do something along those lines. So I'll show you the new types of conversions I'm going to play with after Joe Fest. And it all comes from thrift shopping. Yes, this is going to count as a Thrifty Thursday and a fig reveal and blah, blah, blah. So let's start with the basket of little dinky toy things that I got at the thrift store when I was looking for 6-inch classified things. And I'll tell you, my recce eye paid off. For $3.99 Canadian. That's like 25 cents American. You too can sponsor a child. No, that's not the right script, Sally. For $3.99 Canadian, I got a bag. This big, big fart big. There you go, Woody 222, and you show up. Okay. And it was filled with these little soldier dudes. Tilted the light. Zoom in the camera for a moment. Come with me. Oh, there you go. Calling assholes. These cheap little Toys R Us Target action soldiers that come with neat little plastic vehicles, but you can tell these are like G.I. Joe by Wish, right? They're crappy little things. Crappy. But better than dollar store crappy or Giant Tiger crappy. They're just below Joe O-ring, right? So there we go. I got thinking, hey, Crow. And I said, yeah, because I recognize the voice. What do you think of that face sculpt? And I was like, you know what, Crow? Falcon was worse. And I got to looking at the assortment I got, and I got quite a lot of different types, but they're clearly tan or green. Whole bunch. I thought, well, what if you primed them black and repainted? What fun would that be? Actually, be a lot. So I'll probably start doing some customs of these little things just for shits and giggles, just so I can make vehicles out of the things I see at the thrift stores that are on that scale. They're O-ring scale. And I think that would be fun and also help guys. So those will be O-ring conversion scale things that I work on. This will be after Joe Fest, but I am going to prime these up this weekend. And I got about 25. And if I keep finding these things at the prices I'm finding them, I will have quite a little fun, perhaps a flag. Who knows what I can make with this stuff, right? And occasionally I might pick up myself the original OG Joe just to have them make a cameo on a shelf like that. There you go. Soldier Force. Thank you. That is them, right? From Reg BDUs to Arctic BDUs. Yeah, well, I'm already doing that on a classified level. You're going to see that. But these guys, well, shit, you got a reconnaissance patrol Tilly hat on this one. Got a pretty modern crew helmet, bump helmet type on these ones. Well, there's a standard military style helmet, and they all come with a lot of neat little creative kit. I was actually more impressed with the kit that I was seeing. And this wasn't why I bought the bag. This was the trees and the forest that I had to see through. And my objective was trying to sneak by. I saw all these little impressive tow rockets. Tows and javelins, wire guided, tank busters, right? Very nice that they were nicely painted. They had functioning tripods. Thought that was pretty neat, but that wasn't what I saw. Saw them backpacks. The way they do their backpacks, I thought, well, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. If you guys are familiar with that video. But elastic straps to hold backpacks on as opposed to a peg. Secured and well. Shit, that's pretty neat. Standard NATO start Warsaw stack. Yep, weapons. Check. Hell, there was even a little Captain America in there. Where did he go? He was super articulate. But let me show you what was actually in there that I saw. I've painted it since. It was camouflage green, hidden behind all this green. And I said, well, you don't belong there. You belong with me at $3.99. Certainly did come home with me. So I'm going to take you over to the piece of Joe real estate that I'll be working on. My ranch, my Howlett Ranch. I'll tell you all about it later. And I'm going to show you what I got for $3.99. Let's go over here to the old ranch. And let's have a look at this motherfucker. Let's see. Is that in shot? No, not yet. There it is. Oh, God. I'm terrible with this camera because I keep forgetting where my lenses on this side of it. There you go. We got a McFarlane scale from his military line, I think it is. 60 millimeter grenade launcher set. Let's take that back under the light and have a look at that. I've repainted it because it was just a boring olive drab. I haven't done the ammo can yet. But that was the perfect accessory for a fig I was working on. And I said, I got to make them different, just slightly. There's got to be an improvement here because I didn't like the original loadout on the guy. There you go. Yeah, the Mark 19, I believe you're right. I know we have these in Canada, but they were being integrated into our RWS systems, like our remote weapon systems for our Nyalas and other vehicles. Sorry, I got to get this in shot. I'm going to go take you back up here, and I'll just hold it up and talk about it because it's this. I don't like doing this on my iPhone. I'd rather do this on my tablet, but pardon my hand, gentlemen. But yeah, the lens on my iPhone is not... doesn't draw my eye very well for me to line it up, but there you go. So like Mark, yeah, the Mark 19, look how articulate this thing was. And Chad, if you're watching, I don't know who it was, but no, this was on Oz's stream, I think. So it was Ponkin. And I got told, what did you expect with the Mod Deuce tripod? You can't just, hey, Rhythmus. Yeah, you can't just ask them to tripod and fold it up and all this other ridiculous stuff. And I thought, well, come on. Let me get that old tripod because I do have it right nearby. And I'm going to show you exactly why I was kind of rolling my eyes going, yeah, but they can though. They can totally do what I wanted with the tripod, which... it was in which box? See, now that you're live, Crow,
you committed to doing something that you shouldn't have, which was finding a specific piece. If I can't find it in the next minute, it's fine. I can verbalize it, but it's so much better the example, don't you think? I really think. All right, guys, I'm not going to waste anyone's time. So the Mark 9, the tripod from the Desert Combat Soldier, right? Picture that, and it doesn't fold. It breaks down, so you got the 50 cal, which doesn't break down once more, so you can remove the barrel or anything, but it should. And then you got that tripod sticking out, all like spider-legged, like that. And you're supposed to clip that onto the side of the Desert Soldier pack, and then it doesn't collapse, right? But yet McFarlane found a way to make them collapse, and maybe that don't look too good, but these are all easily detached. This is very detailed. Very workable thing. This pintle can be used on vehicles, right? Fully articulate. The feed tray lifts the way it should, and you even have the feed guides to keep those grenade canisters in. The belt is solid. Yeah, the only thing that's missing is a little bit of detail for feed poles, but it's got the iron sight range band measurement. It's just missing the little slider eyelet that you would use to guess your range, to get your range on these things. So to answer Loki, believe, being the guy that remembered the figure line, I was really impressed with McFarlane's military line. I had a few of them. You've seen my divers when I showed off some of my diver guys before. I had a couple other guys over the years, but I sold them and I gave some to other veteran soldiers I was working with when I was in ops, because a couple were snipers. I was working with guys that were snipers in ops, so I gave one as a retirement gift to the other and things like that. But these should be from the McFarlane military line, and if I'm thinking this is the one I think it is, I think this is the one from like 2007 or 8. And this was a dude sitting down behind it, because I also got the sandbags and everything with it. Highly detailed sandbags. I'll show you those in a second. And they're all individual. And this was slid in with those action soldiers. Right? So this is what I mean when I say I go into a thrift store, because I know the people in the back sorting through those toys don't know what those toys are. And what they're doing is they're taking massive boxes of random dumped in toys from collections of charitable donations that they bought from that charity by the weight. They pour them on a table and they put like things together in little bags. Well, here's those sandbags I was talking about, right? Like very cloth looking, very textured, dry brushed, very detailed. This is clearly, as far as I see it, a McFarlane. And it's even got the ammo can, the proper ammo can for the grenades, complete with the clasp lockdown bar. It's in the opposition, but this would go down. It would have a little lock right there, but the hinges are nice. It's a nice system. I'm 99.9% sure this is a McFarlane toy grenade launcher, right? Well, so who am I sticking with that? That's the question. Let me put it back, and you can come with me. And I'll introduce you to short fuse. Okay. So we'll just take all that back. And I got to shift over the light so you can see him. More light. And there he is, taking a break, the lazy bones. He's manned his, again, I've got that same problem. Where's my lens? Right there. He's manned his mortar there that Loki Wartooth provided. That set of dragon, or the dragon's teeth here. Sorry, not dragon's teeth. The knife rest. They're knife rake. Tank obstacle. God, it's when you're live, you can't think of anything, right? These tank obstacles, just like on D-Day there. That was in there as well. And that's 3 pieces that you just clip together. So I think that was a part of it. But anyways, the mortar is from Loki. It's a 2-piece mortar that can be broken down easily. And it's got these little detents. I'm going to take this all to the light. God, I hate this camera. Next time, I'm going to remind myself to do this with my tablet because it's just easier. I'm going to have to buy a new computer too. And all that, but okay, so So sorry, just getting caught up there. Conway, so this is right deep in the lore. It's amazing. And it's so deep into the lore. Sorry. Yeah, 40K, right? Yeah. Yeah. So short fuse. The only thing I have left to do is I got to track down where I had set aside the 3 or 4 mortar rounds Loki had included with his backpack. But here's the mortar, and I just have to add a little sight system for the sighting angular system, and or a level probably. I'm not mortar qualified. I would have to ask Chad what is up there. Is a level bubble? There you go. And then very much like the old short fuse mortar, but it's got these detents I wanted to show you there. And he's got another nubbin right there, like a third nibbin. But these clip into the backpack. That's part of the kit that Loki does. I'll just stand short fuse up. So I'm doing a night for, well, I've done a night force variant of short fuse clearly here. Pardon me. So that's going to make him a little bit harder for me to show here because he's black. But this little groove on the back is just supposed to line up with this peg, and then you would clip it in here. Now, I don't plan on utilizing this system. I tried it once before I painted it. I'm not quite sure if it's going to line up that way, but I'd love to show it that way. So let's try. Get in the light so I can see because my eyes are terrible right now. Oh, no, it's not that nubbin. Sorry, it's the one on the side. My bad, guys. I wasn't looking at it from the right angle there. Are you going to see it? You going to do Papa proud, you whore? No? Little bitch? No, motherfucker. Come on, Loki's watching. It must be the paint I put on it. Yeah. So the problem being is it's not very deep. You could magnetize it. It wouldn't be hard to magnetize. But the other nubbin, all I would just say is if you do it, you just shave it down a little bit. But the other nubbin has no problems holding on. If you wanted to put the bracket on, I'm sorry, the bipod right there. Right. So I put in little dots on the side of that for range increments and everything like that. Legs on the back. Yeah, legs on the back. Absolutely. And then he's got his we'll take that off. So what I made, yeah, right there. There's the backpack. So you can see he's got little things, but I think this is a multi-purpose, multi-use backpack. I just didn't finish these because it's got an area where you can feed cable through an eyelet. And you could use this like a climbing or a winch or a hook or something you could have on there, right? So roping, it's got that little system to it. I thought that was an interesting ad. So it told me that it was kind of a universal kind of backpack at this. So for short fuse, I just kept it really simple because he was really simple, and then they made him a little bit more complicated than I liked him. The original short fuse, if you remember, he was just as olive drab as breaker and all the other breaker grunt, just olive drab, right? Helmet, visor, backpack with a couple rockets, and then the mortar, which I think a lot of kids hated the mortar because it wasn't a handgun. You couldn't see him pointing the mortar at someone. Bazooka had that thing, right? So I don't know how short fuse was received, but when I present them, I'll do the final card and everything. But I wanted to do the Night Force one because I'm still sure no short fuse is coming. In fact, if you ask me who I think the likely candidate with the MMS for G.I. Joe would be, I think it would be short fuse with a steel core helmet, quite honestly. Mortars are still relevant in infantry platoons, but it's a pretty specific piece of kit. These guys still carry rifles, so I have a weapon set aside. I'm painting for them, but it's just going to be a little black MP5 boarding gun with a bit of gray on it for the Night Force. Another thing I found in that bag of this scale. Weird, right? So if you go back to the original Night Force, what he had a little bit more intricate torso design this time. I went back to the first design, so keep it simple, but I wanted the second iteration's kind of gray and black camouflage pants feel, and then that chest rig, that's actually from Nunchuck, and I decided to keep it because it had a grenade on it anyways, and a knife. And then the Tiliad, again, is a Loki Wartooth, but the head is also Loki Wartooth, and I just tried to find a guy that wasn't that pissed off, but pissed off enough looking. So there we go. And there was a hook you could put on the backpack. And it was a McFarlane. Yeah, I was pretty sure I had seen it before, right? So yeah, so that's gonna be my Night Force short fuse. I'll do a video on him and
I'm kind of just filling in my night force ranks for fun because exactly what I was thinking would happen happened with dial tone, right? I knew eventually dial tone was going to get revealed. I just didn't know, and I was like, you've got to be sure that they're going to do the original. So if I'm going to do mine, I'll do mine in Tiger Force. So that's the same mental approach I use for doing short fuse. If I short fuse, and I did Steeler this way too. I did an end state version of Steeler for my shelf because when the originals come out, I don't want to regret doing my variant, right? So Wreckage was the one that bit me in the ass because I did a Wreckage with my big Brawler 2-pack and then Hasbro did it. So I was very careful to consider short fuse. They will definitely do an OG13 short fuse, but if they do a retro card one, and then you can almost guarantee it's probably going to be a Night Force short fuse when we see them, I think. But that's mine. All right. So, hey, that real estate. Let me show you a little bit about that real estate because it's kind of fun. I said I wouldn't show this thing again as I worked on it, but it wasn't complete as a house. And I'm talking about one of these houses that I've shown on my channel before. I get them for $5 or $6 at these thrift stores, right? And this was the first one I ever showed. I still haven't painted it up. I'm just seeing if I've got enough kit and stuff to add to it and do it. But I'm going to try and make these stone and wood, and I'm going to try and do a ranch. Well, I found another one. All I have to do is just bevel out the top of the entrances, and there I've got a kind of a Yellowstone ranch kind of vibe going on. Well, I had to go with that, right? So you got the barn. I started painting that up. Little boats and trailers and everything's going good. And oh, hey, what's up, Ben? And then you got your characters. Oh, there's that Vala with Scarlet, right? But I got me some horses. I like my horses. And I like seeing my mounted cavalry. But hey, what? You know what? Let me come up onto the balcony and we'll take Lowlight and talk about him for a little while. There we go. That's something to do, eh? You guys good with that? You like the ranch, boys? Look, I know you're still there, and I see you. You said, yeah. Oh, I forgot a piece of kit with low light. This is gonna be fun. You're gonna have to see two different versions of the same low light. Bummer. The only thing I'm missing with low light right now is I want to find a better set of goggles for him. So I just left the goggles I had set aside for him off for now. But let's show you low light in a couple of stages, and then the rest will be quicker. I won't show as much because I don't want to be on for long tonight, guys. I'm not sure who else is going to be on at 10, but I don't feel like tonight was as free as it seemed. I don't know. Seems like we're all stepping on all over each other these days. I don't think we mean to. Hey, big shout out to Legend series, by the way. I watched his talking figs with our friend Punk, getting to know yous there on that stream. Wasn't able to finish the whole thing. Life was hitting me full pace at that point, but I am gonna finish that. I love it. I love it when guys I know are going and sitting in front of Tony because I know how Tony talks because I've sat down twice with Tony now. Once on mine and once on his. And guys, I know you're all having a great time. So thank you very much, Legend Series, for everything you do for this community. And man, I love watching you taking off, and you are, and you deserve it, man. You're a very talented individual. And of course, we knew that about Punk, but I love that everybody's really, really seeing the scope of you. And that's awesome, man. And Wraith Mace, I am going to show my 40K character because I know, man, I know it's late and you're probably going to want to go to bed soon. So let's, who was I going to show first? Low light. Okay. I said it a long time ago when I wanted to do backup characters for Snow Job that I eventually was doing a wolf pack with Scarlet, and Blizzard didn't work out. I'm still trying to fix Blizzard. I'm going to have to start all over. But eventually it came out. I said, I think one of you guys in the chat at the time said low light. And I said, okay. So low light's not very wintry looking like this, right? I wanted him to kind of mix with winter, urban, nighttime kind of thing. It's really just a Desert Snake Eyes body again, I think, with Duke kit. This is a Loki Wartooth sculpt that I just painted up. It's just a toothed head. I liked it for low light. I liked it for Shipwreck as well, quite honestly. But it's I done that up like that for him. But I decided I wanted to play with some play features and treat him kind of like a deluxe a little bit. Go on, wait. So you left 3 POA to be here, man? Oh man. Thank you. I don't deserve that. Oh man, I don't deserve this. Isn't that what Mossman says? That's too nice. I don't deserve this. So, play features. Well, I was hoping I could find that site that I wanted on it before I did the video and get it painted up, but it'll come. It'll find it. I've got a couple more bits box, but this is the sniper rifle I've gone with, and you can see kind of scrimmed and cammed that up a little bit. And this came to me from Digital Diarrhea. It was a gift that he gave me after he won my first contest. It was in with some other kits, so I got that all painted up. I like the little carry handle. I like the big old barrel, 50 cal barrel, and big old clip, big old butt. Not the most amazing sniper rifle, but one of the more interesting ones I had ever seen from outside the line. So the scrim, what I made the scrim out of was it's funny because it's gonna keep coming up. There was a piece of furniture I bought that looked like a part of a bed and a shelf. And I bought that for the ranch to go in one of the houses. And I primed it, and it had this little pink dolly curtain with an elastic band in the center of it. It was supposed to sit over the center post, and it would act like this mosquito net that would drape over the bed. Aw, you're a really nice guy, man. You're a nice dude. Anyways, pardon me. So that mosquito netting really comes into play a little bit. So those were leftover pieces that I chopped up. And then the green part is left over from an avocado bag, right? Because when sniper ghillie suits in the winter, you would, depending on the region, if you're in the North Pole, okay, they're all white. If you're in, say, Northwest Territories, you know, somewhere where there's woods, well, okay, white and green. Camouflage is pretty self-explanatory. It's the easy principle to understand. So why does that fit in with him? Well, he's not always going to be in the blue and the white. I built him a ghillie suit. So I'm going to show you the play here. It's not the best. I'm still tweaking it, but it's good enough that I can show you because it was an idea I was playing with that said bug bar from the girl kit. Yeah, exactly. Those are it. Every time there's a mesh bag from the grocery store, I have a good look at it. Have I seen this one before? Right? Plastic doesn't retain paint as well as some of the nylon type or whatever they're used. The more threaded stuff retains paint better. You can kind of soak it, let it absorb color and things like that. A lot of the top of like Mandarin bags, that orange safety looking mesh, I'd love to use that for construction sites, but it doesn't hold paint very well at all. It beads, right? But this I think, guys, guys, let me know, is this screen really grainy right now? Am I coming through okay? Because I just saw it on my other screen. Looks like I'm really grainy. Okay. So this little baby girl mesh dolly bed, I cut this up into a few different, and I used it for a few different things. So the ghillie suit is a 2-piece. There's that elastic that was supposed to slip over the center pole. It took me like 3 days to get this from pink to white, right? And then to add parts and then feather it and chop it and get it in there. So on the inside, if I flip it over, right, all scrim's been fed through or glued on, but I wanted something to secure the arms because I didn't want to have like this ghillie suit dropping like Sally in a bag, you know, I'm here for the ball, and it's stiff like a cardboard. And I wanted arm manipulation to affect it. So I'm still kind of working on how these loops are. That's why I say maybe it's not quite done. But the way it goes on is simple. I take clickety-click, barb a trick, take the head off. Suck my what? Put that over there. Short side in the front. And there, right? Except that I've got to put his arms through the loops before I do that, I think. At least through one side. I find it easier if I put the arms through the loops first. So I put in loops through the fabric, and then what I'm going to do, if these are where I want them, in fact, because they're just pinholes, I can move these and take them out if I need to. I got a little bit of warbler left. I'll heat that up and I'll press that into the wire so it doesn't scratch anything up, right? So they're just kind of a placeholder for where I want them. And then I've got to put a more kind of proper scrim onto the rest of the vest once I've decided that. where I think I need it more, right? So you guys are kind of, hey, Roman, you guys are kind of learning where I want the rest of the scrim to go as I learn it, because I'm kind of throwing it together officially for the first time since the last bit of scrim on there. So now it was about how the arms worked with it. So we'll have a look. So you can see I fed the arms through here. The 2 loops, one for the forearm and one for just over the wrist. I think the loops are working in the right spot. That's pretty much, and I left enough slack on them that I'm not really scraping up my paint when I put them on. That's good. All right, so there. Now I considered putting some loops down over the legs as well, but I think I'm not going to bother. You got a huge roll of Warbler, dude. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you. If you have a website, I can just get a monthly subscription to Warbler. Give it to me now, plus, because I'm burning through it. I have 4 saddles to do. I have saddle bags. I have so much to do. So yes, please, Warbler. Warbler is amazing. I've had so much fun with Warbler. All right, so then I just loop that over, right? But what that allows me to do is to fold that in if I need to fold it in a little bit. And then the arms can manipulate this over. And if I turn, I can drag the cloak across, right, to hide things under it like rifles or things like that, right? So it's starting to come along enough that I would just say it's done. I'm just going to add some more depth to the suit and scrim. But if we put his head back on, oh, well, that looks silly. He looks like a pimple. No, that's not going to do. What do we do about that? Well, so the hood, I also made from the same shit. I just glued it down and added a bit of scrim, but I feathered the front so it hangs over his face. If you guys saw the movie Fury, in the end, they go up against the German and Panzergrenadier Panzergrenadier and SS battalion, and the sniper had his scrim hanging down to cover the shine that would happen on his face from firelight and things like that, because sweat will remove cam, and if you can't keep stopping to reapply your sweat and you're a sniper, that's why they do stuff like that, right? And yeah, so what I did to make that work, guys, is I left enough slack, because I would have probably done this out of Warbler, but I'm still practicing with the Warbler what I can and can do naturally. So I left that little tail. And so what that looks like is if I actually flip this back over and I set that tail through the loop right here. This feels like when I demonstrated what to do with the 60th anniversary soldier soft goods over the backpack, right? Just a little demo. But yeah, you can turn that into a ruck cover. But so I just feed that tail just enough down so that it sits on the other back side of his neck when I put it through. And then I just put the head on. And we should have an acceptable enough. He won't look like a Frosty the Snowman pimple reject or Ghostbusters, I hope. I hope he doesn't look that way. But we'll see. Which position did I leave that arm? That's the problem. So much scrim, I can't see what position I'm leaving stuff in. I gotta fix that up. Yeah. Oh, it's folded under itself. That's why it doesn't look right. There we go. Anyways, I'll dick around with it later, but there's with the hood, right? So that's gonna be my Arctic low light. The rifle, I'm just waiting to get the sight on there, and then I have a backpack for him as well, but that'll be under this scrim. So there you go. That'll be for my winter set. That'll be that. Let's see. Let's get to the chat. I've been kind of neglectful of that. Anyways, sorry, but I got 11 people in there. That's great. And okay, I think I'm current on the chat. Thank you. Fury is great. Fury was the worst thing that happened to my regiment. If you're new to my channel, my regiment upon retirement was the Lord Strathcona Horse Royal Canadian. It's a tank regiment in the Alberta. Okay, and that's who I deployed overseas with. I've always been Lav crew, but I have been tank crew. I am qualified on the Leopard 1s, but not the newer Leopards that we brought overseas. But I was qualified on the older Leopards we brought over. But I liked my Recce. I love my recce. I love my recce vehicles. I love my recce tactics. I love every recce consideration. Tanks are big, cumbersome maintenance machines that are unforgiving and hot as fuck, right? But Fury made everyone go get haircuts like Brad Pitt for the next 2 years at my regiment. It was the funniest goddamn thing I'd ever seen. And everybody was suddenly acting like they were John Barnthal in that movie. Like, what you want, boy? What you want, boy? Get a girl, what? Just rude for the sake of being rude. It was all mockery of that movie, but they really did kind of capture for a moment what a tank crew would be like that. When you're in a tank crew, it's not like you got a lot of space. The knowledge and annoyance you feel for each other is intimate, man. Your relationship with your driver is unlike any other person in that squadron. And if you like your driver, that's great. If you hate your driver, it's not great. Right? So yeah, there we go. Fury, fine movie. Who else am I working on these days? Well, I could show, I'll show the Tanith Soldier. I'll show this one, and then that's it for the night. But before I do, I wrote down, I need a name for my bar, and I think I'm going with something XXX with the crowbar. But this little set piece is going to be in the background for my downstairs shelf, and I've decided instead of being the top of a turtle subway thing, I'm going to board this off with some glass and mesh or whatever, put some sign up, and I'm going to make this into a bar. But I'm going to put a light. I have some RC lights over here. I'm going to put a light down in here. Just a simple little showpiece for when I want to show us just an individual figure. But this used to be the Ninja Turtle layer top part there. I'm just working that back up. So, yeah, you'll see the name of the bar. And I think I got to work in Crow into that name, right? Crow Bar, something like that. Probably going to make it a strip bar just for fun. Because I got all these ones. I find the coolest shit, yeah. You saw my tank video. Was that the one when I was back at the regiment at Christmas and saw the tank, the leopard? Told you old man stories about tanks. Yeah. Thanks. So Netflix. All right. I am going to tell you right now, Matt Matson, Coplender. I went out and I watched that. McCollar Acolyte on Disney. Hang on a second. There's something going on down here. I got to check on a fire because it's been long enough. I'm almost an hour into my stream and I haven't started my fire. Detected spirits about my Disney streams. 1 second, please. That's my spirit impression. How was it? All right. Acolyte. What the hell? Not a fan at all. This is Frozen. Matt actually confirmed that they actually said this was a variant of Frozen, for God's sakes. And I wasn't going to speak a whole lot on it because I had long ago written off Star Wars after Rogue One. Every time I look for potential and I see a little bit, they smash it with the reality of what is the series and or being the only exception of it. But look how ill-received people were for that. They didn't want their Jack Ryan thriller in Star Wars and that kind of a character development for someone they already knew was freaking dead. Okay? If you want to know why Andor failed, because they know he died. Right? So here I am, I'm watching Acolyte. I'm looking for something that's giving me a hope. And what are we doing? It's Frozen, man. Yeah. Loki spelt it out. There we go. And yes, now you're in the Crow After Dark. I'm going to get some adult figs into my collection soon. No, I'm not a fan of Acolyte. I think it was a ridiculous waste of time. And moreover, it's damaging hype. Damaging hype. Disney under Kathleen Kennedy and whoever else is playing captain for that Star Wars property right now they're not even shooting themselves in the foot anymore. They're rubbing all sorts of infection in there and saying, this won't get infected. Every time you overhype a series just to get that first 2 viewership hours in, it's insanely damaging. You're losing more and more trust every time. Acolyte covers the murder of a Jedi, and it's done by a child with a vengeance, and there's a twist, and oh my God, it's just annoyances. But man, they got a dark villain. He's got a cool mask and a new red lightsaber. But he's not called Darth anything.
He speaks of the acolytes.
Yeah. All right, I'll try that before I put it up. But yeah, and so what you get is this gobbledygook who done it. I've watched the first 2 episodes, trying to find something redeeming in it. And I swear to God, the murders are goddamn hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Hang on a second. Crow, where's my crow? Spoiler alert! There you go. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Acolyte, mute me for whatever. For a minute until I do this. Until I make the signal. Okay. These murders, right away, it's very transparent. Okay. Carrie Ann Moss from The Matrix is in this thing. She's the very first Jedi you meet. And we meet the young hopeful. Well, pretty sure this is the assassination and the murder that we've been alluding to in all the other credits. So, right, the superstar is going to die. You've made it look that way. Ah, crap. Right? So, big name. She's basically Sean Bean in this. She's Sean Bean in almost everything he does. The point of Sean Bean is to die on film, right? So that's yeah. Sorry for spoiler, but I told you. Spoiler. You then find out this acolyte has a few Jedi they need to kill. And this is back in a time where Jedis are pretty honorable and righteous folk. Pretty damn good, properly respected folk. Not looked as skids like they are in A New Hope, like, oh, he failed. Right? This is the time when they represent something mystical, I guess. Anyways, this person's got to go and kill a bunch of Jedi. And man, she gets like bonus points. Like, oh, max XP if you can do it without a weapon. Right? Sorry, I gotta go. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Star Wars. My boy. I don't know how to do. It's been forever since I Godfather, but my boy. Look what they did to my boy. Yeah, whatever. They're ruining Star Wars. Anyways, we're moving forward. Got some more Jedi to kill, but you get bonus points if you can do it without a weapon. So that's pretty cool, right? Disney wants to take a little violence and blood out of this and make it interesting. Yeah. Remember when Falcon said to Sergeant Slaughter, let's make it interesting and go with it weapons, right? And they go with it weapons. Right, so that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, there's your G.I. Joe moment. All right, you must kill 4 Jedi. One must be without a weapon. The other must be with a banana-shaped pretzel. There, do it with that. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so now you have criteria for killing Jedi. Gotcha. And this is all to be an acolyte and worth whatever that is, because we never hear about acolytes again. So their prominence are questionable to begin with. Right? Are they Sith, or are they something Sith just kind of disconnected from? Right? All right. One does not just simply die on film. You must die well on film. Yeah. All right, Paul. I need. Okay. The chapter master you're asking for, Cal Drago. All right, and okay, man. Yeah, I'll step away from the Jedi thing to tell you a better story about better characters just for a second, and it's very limited, man. I'm gonna go with Logan Grimnar, and I'm only doing that because I know you want Cal Drago. You're a Grey Knights fan. And I have to be contrary to you just to show people that there is so much contrary. Right? Logan Grimnar. He is basically Ragnar. Well, he's your ultimate Viking lord from all the lore. Like, he's Logan Grimnar. Right? You have all these characters. There we go. But allow me to concede one point. 2003, was it, when Grey Knights started? Or no, Grey Knights, when Grey Knights came out, right? They were all pewter kits. But when they started really getting more popular, I was on my way out. I got my hands on a small contingent of Grey Army, including the Nemesis Dread Knight, which you, Wraith Maze, showed on your channel as the Joy Toy. I should have worn my white pants that day. Ooh, that was nice, man. That was glorious. But that looked very expensive and very heavy. But I had that. and I painted them up, and I gave them away to a friend who had fallen on hard times and wanted to play again. I was like, here, man, I'm out of the hobby. I've sold all these armies. I have this Grey Knight contingent. Take it. Grey Knights are one of the finest chapters for lore and everything else. But when it comes to the interest of a guy like me, orcs, Catachan, Tanith, guys who would turn a broken down dune buggy into a war machine in order to survive, were much more appealing than guys who already had every genetic advantage in the world given to them, and then they get slapped into a suit of power armor and march in and terrify everyone with bullets the size of my head, right? That was always the kind of the advantage 40k had over everything else. It didn't matter what you liked. There was something for it. If you wanted to be evil, you had Chaos, you had Necron, you had Tyranid. You want to be aliens from Alien, you want to go after Ripley, go be Tyranid. You want to be Terminator, go be Necrons. You want to be demons and evil motherfuckers, go be Dark Eldar and Chaos, right? Hey, we got Mython in the house and things like that. So yeah, Wraith Base, I'm going to get to the Stanith Soldier. I'm going to bring him over here while I just summarize this Acolyte crap for a second. So the Acolyte carries on with more murders of more Jedis. And sure enough, there's a dude in there that's sitting there meditating, and she's failing to kill him because he's so at peace with the Force that violence is impossible. And she looks quite the clown trying to assassinate him repeatedly. But she's such a wise and smart assassin. She keeps trying repeatedly, risking, joint injuries and all these things. She looks ridiculous to the point where she kicks her point self back like a clown show. This is an assassin, mind you. That's killing Jedis. No problems. Anyways, the way he dies is uber not gory at all. Well done, Disney. You're making this look simple. But the guy reminded me of Hyde from the 70s show, man. Just with a scar. I seriously, and I was like, isn't that guy in jail for something? Like, wasn't he rude or sexually deviant or something like that? But it totally reminded me of Hyde. But yeah, the premise of this show is one person trying to find their sister having another temper tantrum. There's a devious entity. He's got a really cool toothy mask. And he talks like this about the Jedi and their failures and where acolytes can succeed. And it's just the same crap over and over again. You know what's good so far that I'm watching? Under Paris. It's a Netflix movie. Just came out recently. I think it's number 1 on the list right now. It's dubbed over to be in English. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. There's a great point. And welcome, Bobby. Thank you. Yes. Assassins have to have little sneaky trinkets and knives, right? I'm an assassin. This literally kills a Jedi, but yeah, you can get impaled by a magic crystal lightsaber of infinite source and turn you into a Force ghost in under parsec, millisec, whatever. But this knife will do you in for sure. It's fun. It's fun. Well, it's fine. I wasn't really expecting to like it. I was hoping to like it, right? Just like with Boba Fett, hoping to like it. Mandalorian season 2 and on, hoping to like it. Listening to the hype that these personalities from all over the internet and TV and everybody puts into these pre-Disney releases of their shows and Star Wars and in Marvel now, thank you. It's like swallowing a series of campaign lies that you're just like, just get through the bullshit and tell me, all right, taxes going up or not. Just talk, stop talking. What's changing? That's it. That's all we want to know now, right? This was a disappointment. So Netflix Under Paris is good. It's about sharks in the Seine, right? It's actually got some good cinematography, nice special effects. Plot's not terrible. It puts it definitely kind of reminds me of the summer blockbuster like The Rock would do, or Meg, but without the ridiculously reoccurring megalodons and those just sharks with some tweak. So like a mix of Deep Blue Sea and Piranha. but without the humor and the nudity. God, there's no nudity yet. I thought you French people like nudity. All right. So that's good. What else did I see that was looking good on there? Well, I haven't checked it out yet, but you guys know there's a new Beverly Hills Cop movie coming to Netflix. Like Axel F is back, Eddie Murphy's back doing that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out for sure. I don't know how I'll feel about that, but God, I hope Eddie Murphy's funny again. Did I cover everything about that? The ranch, yeah, I showed the ranch. All right, it's time to show Ben McVenner. For this, I need my tablet just to give you kind of the setup of what it is. So this is for Wraith Mace, and this is for Sand Time Toys, and anybody else that is learning about the Warhammer 40K. I'm just going to go up on Google for a second and pull this up for you, okay? Dan Abnett, as I said, is the writer of this series, Gaunt's Ghosts. It is about a infantry reconnaissance contingent that were a part of a 3 battalion strong regiment that was founded on their home planet of Tanith. And so their founding and their offerings to the Imperium, this grand army that represents mankind's constant fight in a world of only war, these founding regiments were getting stood up to go fight. And the cosmic evil known as chaos, the warp, essentially evil incarnate. Every story lore has some variant of chaos. Greek mythology begins with chaos. Chaos is very much prevalent in this story arc from there. So Tanith soldiers became a scratch company of other hive communities and areas that they rescued, other armies that, maybe 14 survivors of a unit, they'd fall in with the Tanith. But what they had going for them was on their home world, the Nullwood Forest was this geographical nightmare in that it always moved. Like it would move from location to location. So to be a navigator on Tanith would be to mean kind of like tied in with the forest and the guidance system, like the poles and all the natural systems. So they never got lost, even though the forest changed shape. So anywhere they go, that guidance system is almost like a 6-7 cents for them. They just never end up getting lost. They always find where they need to go based on that internal guidance. But they always wore black fatigues and they had a trademark camo cloak, which was constantly changing shape. It was like reactive to its environment. So they were called the Ghosts, which, Gaunt's Ghost. Abram Gaunt is their leader that pulled one regiment off the planet. Everybody else died. And they always kind of resented him for it, kind of like how the Regiment Sharp's rifle resented Sean Bean Sharp in theirs. They were like woodsmen and whatnot, and they had these blue tattoos, which tried to get some represented on the face of different kind of things swirled in, just shapes, kind of a mix of Gaelic, Celtic kind of stuff, but blue, little seafaring, little wood bearing. They were very much tied into elements and things like that. Lots of different characters in there, but lots of great characters, well written. He developed these characters very well. But the one that was McVenner was the one that interested me the most, because he was, every rogue team has that one mystery, right? McVenner always came off as Gaunt's Ghost variant of Snake Eyes. He really did. The way he was written, there was 2 super cool characters for the Scouts unit. Like these guys weren't just the recce ones. These were the advanced Scouts. So these were the guys that were LARPs, like long range reconnaissance. They'd disappear for days and no one would worry about them, right? McCall and McVenner were 2 of the Scouts that I really liked reading about. And McVenner never said much, but McVenner had these mysterious kind of fighting skills that the rumors are is that it's a very old fighting style from old tribes of Tanith. And he's one of the few, like the last people that knows it. So I built him just a little staff out of a couple of pieces and some more Warbler, right? And the staff is actually 2-sectional, so you can use it as fighting sticks or what have you. He's going to get my little C8 that I got painted up in drawing, but he can't have his standard Tanith weapons that he would have had because it was a 40K. But I did that more just to satisfy my own itch to do a 40K character. I was happy with how it turned out because the Warbler, again, Loki, is the only reason I was able to do the hands, because this figure The arms I used, it was a different line, so the hands disappeared from here up. And I still wanted to use that whole body and those arms, so that was what enabled me to do it, was to have Warblood to build the new mounts. So yeah, the camo cloak is supposed to be representing walking through like a wood line with a pocket of light in it, things like that. And then if you were to step behind a brick wall, it would change to the brick wall, right? So just the plain black, and a lot of flat black and gray black. Like there's actually 4 different blacks that play on this thing. But to me, that seems like a waste. I hate doing black characters that just look black. Like that's Snake Eyes, black. But unfortunately, and very much so, I can say that's the way a Gaunt's Ghost character is supposed to be. So my guy, then Ghost, he's joining the shelf, and now you've got the explanation, and I'll have him the same way I have Crow and Pliskin in the background from time to time. I'm happy to say I've got 2 new figures I'm making into Wolverines for Grievance's Wolverines idea from Red Dawn, and that's that. That's the figs I was showing, and the last one I'm working on before I do anything else, guys, because I've been at it for just over an hour, and I kind of want to keep it a little bit so I get some more done tonight. I gotta catch up on my emails to see if my bid went through, things like that. But I'm doing Budo. I have some good kit for Budo. I have a few different ideas for Budo. I have some more soft goods that I pulled off other figures that I can work on to Budo. But I'm also doing Budo out of a lot of Warbler and just playing with it. But I want to do an end state variant of Budo, so I'm gonna kind of keep a like a dystopian version of a samurai at it. That's why I'm not doing the helmet, right? And yeah, Conway. So it's like the Wolverines, yeah. So the Wolverines, like I said, it's background characters, but I think I have one of them right here. I managed to. This was one that I was keeping in the background. I'm gonna put a head on, but he's again. I don't like the smaller ones. But I was at one place the other day, and they had these anime character, one anime character, which was a full 6-inch, full size, looked good, had military style vests and everything. So I've just got that stripped down. But we've got one for Jet. Who is Patrick Swayze in Red Dawn? What was Patrick Swayze's character's name again? Was it Jeb? I want to say it was Jeb, right? So we're gonna do the Swayze-like character again. I won't be able to get a Swayze head going or anything like that, but we'll make them similar. It's just based off the Wolverine, so we'll get representations of high school and college age kids there. But I got one to do Andy, the sergeant there. Sorry, Colonel Andy, and his unit. I got a good figure to do Andy, so I'll get Andy in there. That's good. Stuff like that, right? So yeah, the Wolverines will come along, and yeah. Aside from that, new figs wise, I was really hoping to have my Jinx or my Doc surprise me, or even my Beachhead for the retro line, but that didn't happen. I think they're going to stick to next week, which is fine, but off we go to Joe Fest after that. So let's talk for a second about next weekend. I'm going to forgo Saturday morning with GI Crow. There won't be a Saturday night with GI Crow. What you'll get is Sunday brunch with the backyard battlefield, as we have a civilized Joe discussion leading into our trip to Joe Fest, where you'll see tons of content and you'll meet the Crow in a different light, wearing different clothes with a different attitude, and you'll get to see us interact with all the other content people out there that we meet at Joe Fest. And I mean, if they're going to Joe Fest, you know the Crow's out to meet them. You know I'm going to be. It's me, Aaron, 3-star, Loki, Daredevil, like all of us, but I'm staying with Aaron, and it's going to be fire team partners down the hallway going crazy. Jed Eckert, thank you, Conway. Jed Eckert. So I want to do a Jed Eckert, and I want to do an Andy for my Wolverines, get them on the way. But they're a slow build, right? But they're happening again. That's good. But yeah, the Sunday brunch, we'll do that around noonish. I'll start putting a post. Told the guys they're going to send me some new headshots so I can do some promotional stuff. But that'll be me, 3-star, and Aaron, Toy and Answers, last opportunity to get together before Joe Fest, where we physically meet and go shopping for Joe's and have a blast, shoot a bunch of content, and try and share 3 days of G.I. Joe with you guys. Our way, right? We're going to have a blast, guys. It's going to be a good time. And then I come back and I'm going to have to settle in the new ranch, and then build my new ranch. So maybe that's where I'll end this tonight. You know, my new shelf, you guys see me do a lot of background stuff, and it was always for a temporary shelf space. So the nice news is I always did say, once I bought my house, once I was settled into my new house, I was going to show you guys different visions of a permanent shelf space. So I get to move forward with building that, and that's where that ranch is coming from. And Woody, 222, that beautiful table you did, that Kleenex effect water. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Thank you. Because for the last 8 years, I've had 2 8-foot tables that are heavy as fuck sitting in my garage, and now they're going to go into a basement, and I'm going to do an L-shaped display somewhere in that basement just for fun, right? So it will be an exciting year. Clearly, I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands, good or bad. It's got to be productive, right? So, guys, thanks for joining me in the chat tonight. Like I said, I appreciate. I will do individual videos for the individual characters. More vehicles on the way for sure. The dune buggy for the Crossfire for the Arctic is coming along. I just haven't been able to pick that up in the last 2 days, but I am going to try and work on some sort of tracked vehicle for Steeler because I'm sick of him having nothing but dune buggies. So see what comes there, guys. And thank you again. I will be seeing you very soon. Loki. Heat up the warbler, baby. I'm coming. You're going to make it a baddest suit of warbler for me. I want a warbler tuxedo. No, I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Check out Aaron's recent batch of videos. He did a bunch today. He had a good time out on the lake. 3-star draw. I know is not having a good time out of his camper. That's why he didn't swim back tonight. So, lastly, guys, my thoughts and wishes are out there to Cobra Crimson Commander. Please, guys, drop him a line if you are. And just wish him a speedy recovery. He tweaked his back pretty good, and he is in recovery. It's going to take him a little while. I guess he did it pretty good. So our thoughts are with you, Cobra Crimson Commander. I hope you are healing up. Gone Huesos, again, thank you for being so active in the chat, man. Welcome to the channel. I don't know exactly how long you've been here. You've been here a couple of times, and it's getting more fun to talk to you, man. Great to see you, okay? And it's one day I'll hear how to pronounce that. Probably at Joe Fest, some Latino guy or somebody who understands how to pronounce that is going to walk up and go, Smet! And I'll be like, what the hell? And he'll be like, it's Conhuios. All right. Guys, you have a good night. Bye.